Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we have something to talk about. Xbox might be raising the prices of certain things. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We also got some numbers for Game Pass. Game Pass, they're saying they're about 10 to 15% of their revenue, and doesn't really expect it to go really any higher than that because most people that already have an Xbox that already want to be on Game Pass are probably already on Game Pass. That kind of makes sense. They are seeing, a lot more growth on the PC platform, which is awesome because PC Game Pass is pretty freaking cool too. There's been multiple games on PC Game Pass that I've wanted to try. So the one thing about that, let me talk about PC Game Pass for a minute because if you have Game Pass Ultimate, like you automatically get PC and console. So when you're going through Game Pass, you're getting access to that EA Play stuff. So you can play all those older EA games, the PC version of those, something like Dragon Age, Inquisition. You could play that on your PC. Like with max settings and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. Like I really do appreciate that. And I've noticed that a lot of games, once they get added to Game Pass, like Game Pass PC or whatever, then you automatically get what's called Play Anywhere access to a lot of these games. A lot of these games I already own. Now I get a PC copy too, which is freaking awesome. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, because we all made fun of PlayStation for raising their prices. Well, actually, we've been kicking PlayStation this whole generation for raising their prices to $70, but that didn't stop them. They're still going strong. Remakes for $70. I don't think that they're going to raise the price of the Xbox consoles. And if they do, maybe they'll do a little bit or something. I don't necessarily think the consoles are as much in the crossfire as much as I do believe the games. I do believe the games are going to be $70. I do believe they're going to be $70. They are going to raise them at the first of next year. Possibly. I'm more than likely. But if you're a Game Pass subscriber, that's not going to affect you because you'll still be playing your games on Game Pass. Probably around the first of the year, maybe even, I don't know if they're going to do it before the end of this year, but possibly beginning next year sometime, early January, February maybe, they'll start doing the family plan for Xbox Game Pass. So that right there is already going to work in a price increase for Xbox Game Pass. Whether you like it or not, you'll be paying, $25 for a family plan, or you'll be paying $15 for the regular plan, which will pretty much get you, the Xbox Game Pass. So that will pretty much increase the revenue, or maybe even it out just a little bit. Because I know at my house, I pay for my Xbox Game Pass. I pay for Junior's Xbox Game Pass. So that's two subscriptions that I won't have to pay no more. Then all three of us will just have Xbox Game Pass. So there's something to think about right there. So that's effectively going to raise or lower my cost $5 a month. If it's $25 a month, I'll be paying $5 less, and then we'll have the same amount of Xboxes we have on that now. So that'll be pretty good. So that there, you pretty much already can just work in a common sense price upgrade for that. They might go a little bit higher. Maybe they make like a single person like $20 or something. I don't know. $15 is already pretty much pushing it. But if they can deliver, if they can come out next year and start dropping bangers every month, or like every other month or something like that, if they can drop like 6 AAA first party studio games a year, they could definitely upgrade that price a little bit, I think, because especially if they're going to start charging you $70 a game, I feel like it's fair, man. $70 games. Trust me, I buy a lot of these $70 games. I spend a lot of money. I just bought God of War. I just bought, I just bought Batman Arkham, Gotham Knights. I buy a lot of these $70 games, and they add up. So if you're paying just a monthly subscription, toward the cost of, say, 2 of them a month or 2 of them a year, maybe even, 2 of them a year, I think the max they could possibly get you to do is maybe 3 a year, but I don't know. I still feel like that would be. I kind of still feel like $20 a month for Xbox Game Pass would be more than reasonable. I do. I do. Especially if we keep getting, the AAA games. We keep getting the indies. We keep getting the AA games. And we keep getting the first party games day one. I don't really see that as a problem. Like, I don't. Like, $20 sounds pretty good if you're still getting EA Play with that. If they find a way to work in Ubisoft Plus with that. I do think that the value of paying for the subscription every month is greater than buying the $70 games outright. But then again, if you're a patient gamer and you can wait until those games go on sale, then you're saving your money anyways. But the fact that you can play these games day and date, day one, when they launch on a subscription service, that really outweighs having to wait for these games to drop in price. Because even just think about it. You just pay the $20 on the month that you want to play that game. Play it for 30 days and then move on. You're not stuck with it, but you are still paying $20, which, you know what I mean? So I don't feel like the $20 thing is a bad price. If you are somebody that likes the fact that you can play all those games, I think the extra $5 would be justifiable for a lot of gamers. But then there's a lot of people that are gonna be like, no, dude, I'm not gonna pay an extra $5 for something that I use 4, 5, 6 months out of the year. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. Like, I 100% get that, and I don't expect anybody to just carry a corporation through. But me personally, I do believe that the value is there, and it's always been there for a Game Pass subscription, even for a monthly one. Even though that there's been, a couple months that I just didn't have time to play any of those games. I just didn't have time to play any of the indies or any of the AA's or any of the stuff that they brought out, because I was covering all the games that I was buying. So to me, but my kids play it. My kids use it. My kids use Game Pass so much it's not even funny. So I get my value. You see what I mean? Like, I get my value. My kids use it when they're playing their games. They want to try something. I mean, I'm surprised Junior's been playing Bug Snacks for like since it's been on there. I'm surprised he hasn't been like, Dad, will you just buy this for me? You know what I mean? Like, he's been playing that game since it's been on there, and I'm like, wow, dude, like, you really like that game? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, so I mean, that's cool. As long as there's a value, I don't necessarily see a problem with price increasing too much, but I'm saying like $20 for a subscription service for Game Pass. That's like right there at the line. $30 a month for a family of 5, for 5 Xboxes. That seems more than fair to me. Like, everybody in the house can, each active Xbox, can get into the Game Pass, but they would still have to buy their gold or something like that. I don't know. I mean, like, they're not really Xbox is really not a freaking, they're not here to, they're a company. They need to make money. There's people that work at Xbox. They need to, pay shareholders, stuff like that. So obviously they're a company. They can't afford to like just be like the White Knight forever and give you whatever you want. So yeah, dude, do expect price increases, but don't like be like, oh man, Xbox sold us out, blah blah blah. I don't want to hear none of that on this channel, like any of that from the community. The Xbox is, because I think they've been pretty fair when it comes to the Game Pass thing. I think it's more than fair. I think it's a really good deal. Honestly, I feel like they could charge more and get away with it, but it would be a lot harder to get people to stay and remain monthly active users if they did increase the price too high. Maybe if they came out and they were like, they raise the price, but then they do like what they used to do with like gold, instead of it being like $10 a month, they do like the half, like the half cost or whatever if you pay for a whole year. If they give you like deals like that, that would encourage more people to pay and stay longer, as opposed to, paying that monthly fee. Because let's face it, man, a $20 fee, a $30 fee a month, that's almost, that's literally almost a quarter tank of gas for my truck. You know what I mean? Like, and paying for that a month right now with the higher prices, that really does suck. When it comes to the prices of games going to $70, guys, we fought as hard as we could. We fought as hard as we could. We said we didn't want it. And will still be, and it'll still be a valid argument as we go through the generation, but there's no reason for Xbox to leave that $10 on there's no reason. There's no reason for them to leave that money on the table. Their games are just as good as any other games that have come out. There's no reason for them to leave that $10 on the table. I personally believe that that $70 price has definitely affected sales of games. Like I do. I believe that wholeheartedly that game sales are down because of that. I really do believe that these companies are losing money, that day one money, because they're raising the price $10. Like I believe that. But then you have games like Call of Duty and FIFA and Madden and all these other games that just withstand the test of time. And that's because we used to pay $150 for a Call of Duty game. We used to pay that. And we used to pay that at launch happily. They're like, oh yeah, dude, we get all the packs and everything else. And I've bought so many of those and like only played till like the second content drop. And I was just like, all right, I'm over it. You know, the new Call of Duty's out. So those games have already had that built-in price, that higher price structure for forever. Like they've already had that. So they thrive on that. When you're asked to pay instead of $60 for a $70 Sony first party title, I think it's hurting Sony the most, just because most of the PlayStation gamers like myself I really do play through those games most of the time, just one time and then move on. I mean, now that I own them, I'm starting to play, go back to them and check them out, past, that one and done. But that is a really big mindset with PlayStation gamers, and it's true. Like those things are knockout, bang up, freaking get through the story content one time, and it's like, whoa, that was great. And then like, I know for me, if I go and I try to sit back through some of that stuff, like that first initial slog through the content is like, oh gosh, man, let's just get to the good stuff. And once you already know that, like, hey man, this section here is boring, and depending on how long it takes to get through that, you're like, oh man, I don't know. Like Horizon Zero Dawn, trying to get through that first part of that game again. Nope, I can't do it. I can't get through it again. But those open world games, you can usually just get in there and keep playing with your character, stuff like that. Those are pretty fun. I've tried on the PC to get through it more. But yeah, I don't think Xbox should leave that money on the table, man. I really don't. They should. It's been 2 years. The $70 price tag is not going anywhere. Xbox held strong. They held firm. They got a lot of good banger games that are coming out over the next couple of years. Don't leave that money on the table. $70 versus $15 Game Pass subscription to play that game. Whatever, man. You want to play the game? Pay the $15 subscription service or buy the game for $70. I know it sucks because people like me are going to still buy those games. But certain games, it might make it be like, yeah, dude, that it'll not only will it bring more value to the Game Pass subscription, but it will also help us be a little bit more choosy of what we're going to buy out there. Because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of games that come out every single year. And trust me, I buy a lot of them. I buy a lot of them. And some of them I'll play for 2 hours and they sit. And they sit, and they sit, and they sit. Well, maybe that $70 price tag will help us all pick and choose a little bit better and be a little bit more like tentative when it comes to how we're spending our money on these games. I know these developers work hard. They do. They put in a lot of work to entertain us. And that's why I'm not so hard on them all the time, because like I understand the time, the sacrifice, everything that they're putting in to bring us that product. So I do. I really do try to look at these games and try to get the most out of them. I normally on this channel, because, well, here's the thing, man. When I see a game on like the preview or the first preview or the showing or whatever, I instantly know right then and there if I'm going to buy that game or if I'm not going to buy that game. So most of the time when I do one of my my first impression videos, those are enough for a lot of the community that I think we have here to decide like, yeah, man, that's something I want to play. You know what I mean? Like, that's something I want to play. You see it? You don't want to see a whole spoiler. You don't want me to sit here and tell you about the whole game. You don't want me to spoil anything, because that would make me mad. That would make me mad if somebody was spoiling the game, and that's what I try to do on this channel, is not help you spoil the game. But I've bought a lot of those games that I have not went back and finished yet. I have not even had a desire to go back and finish some of them, but the ones that I do. I sit down every once in a while when I'm in the mood. I'll go through my list and I'll be like, okay, I want to get a little bit further on that game, and then I'll play some more of that. And when I finish them, I'll do a review on them. Or this game, I want to get through that. And there's some games that I will sit down and I will bang out as soon as they're done. Like a Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I love that freaking game. I sat down, I finished the campaign, and I put it out. God of War, I'll probably sit down, bang that one out, and get a review out as soon as possible. Other games, other third-party games. Like right now, I'm actively working on getting through Gotham Knights. That one there was kind of a thing at first. I was like, there was so much negativity and stuff, but I'm starting to love that game. So I am focusing on the PC, because I was already way farther on the PC. I've got my Xbox version caught up to about 5, almost 6 hours, and I need to just focus on one so that I can get it done, so that I can fully review that game. But as it sits right now, like I'm about 12 hours in on the PC and 6 hours in on the Xbox. I love this game. Like, I think this game is great, and every night is different. It gets better, and I'm like, whoa, dang, this is pretty cool. I can already tell you this is a solid 8 or above. It's good. Solid 8 right now without finishing the story. But if the story's good through the rest of the game, maybe that score goes up. But right now, as it sits, I'm sitting right at about an 8, because I'm finding less and less things to be upset about it, and more things that I love about it. This channel here, I really do love open world games, and this one here is getting better and better every single moment I play it. Like, it's getting to the point where I'm like, oh boy, this is good. I mean, this is giving me, like, I'm happy with it so far. So that's the thing, man. That's the thing when it comes to the price increase. I know this thing has been all over the place. I'm sorry. If you made it this far, dude, you're freaking awesome. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate that. I really do. I really appreciate you watching. If you made it this far and listen to my rambling and stuff, because I try to think about things with an open mind. I really do. And leaving that extra $10 on the table, Microsoft, why are you doing it? Do I think they should raise the price on the consoles? I think they should stand firm. I think they should stand firm at $500 for these consoles, because we're already, and this is the biggest reason, we're starting to see games come out at 30 frames a second. We're starting to see the 30 frames a second next-gen games. I think they should hold firm on the $500 and $300. Do not raise the price. If anything, eat that cost, Microsoft, at all costs. Like, you want to raise Game Pass a little bit? Take your chances with that. I don't have a problem with that. You want to raise the games to $10, $70? Go ahead. No reason for you to leave that money on the table. No reason whatsoever. Other services, like Gold, whatever, you don't want to get rid of Gold? Don't get rid of Gold. I want the Xbox platform to stay strong. I want it to be, I want it to make money. I do. I want it to make money. I don't agree. The biggest reason on this channel I don't agree with the $70 prices is because it's going to hurt day one sales. It's going to hurt overall sales of that game unless people are going to play those. That's always been my biggest problem with it. And I don't want to pay $10 for last gen games. I don't have no problem paying the $70 for the next gen games. Whatever. But if they're going to be 30 frames a second, after we've been getting a lot of 60 frames per second games this generation, I mean, that's some, tread lightly. PlayStation, Xbox, tread lightly. Tread lightly, because we've got a lot of gamers out there that are going to be very upset because we have had some amazing 60 FPS experiences this 2 years, and it's been great. And I've held strong, and a lot of us have held strong. We'll be like, yeah, that's what we want. But I also got a PC now, and I can play those games at 60 frames a second regardless. So it's one of those things where tread lightly, man. You want to sell these consoles because there is a major consumer, like casual consumer out there that, you know, really wants to buy these boxes, and these are the most powerful consoles that we've ever had, and they are going to get better with time, you know, better optimization, stuff like that. But there is going to be a plethora of 30 frames per second games coming. Unreal Engine 5 is going to drop you to 30 frames a second, whether you like it or not, whether the optimization is good. The only ones that I trust, that I really have faith to get you a 60 FPS on Unreal Engine 5 out of the gate is the coalition at Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like, I think they could possibly do it because they've got a lot of freaking time, and they basically have only worked with Unreal Engine, so I feel like they're going to be pretty good. But I don't know if you should have your hype up. I don't know if you should have your hopes up when it comes to getting 30 frames per 60 frames per second games, guys. Like, I don't know how to help soften that blow, but it's coming, man, and it's going to be $70. It's going to be 30 for 70, man. You're going to get 30 frames a second for $70. And it's going to be interesting, man. I wonder how the community is definitely going to deal with this. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really appreciate you helping out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one, man. Thanks for stopping by.